Alright, welcome back to BCS, and in today's video, once again, Madden simulation time with a playoff bracket. Now, we know this, there's 12 teams that make the playoffs every year. You got 6 AFC teams, 6 NFC teams, adds 12 teams in total. But there's 32 teams in total. What else do the 20 teams do? The 20 teams that don't make the playoffs? Well, they're just sitting there like, better luck next year, I guess, make the playoffs next year. What if we did this? What if we take the 20 teams that do not make the playoffs every year and throw them into a consolation bracket? And if you don't know what a consolation bracket is, it's basically a bracket that determines runner-up. It's a loser bracket for nothing. It's a bracket where you win, you get nothing out of. So I took the 20 teams that did not make the playoffs this year, the 10 from the AFC and the 10 from the NFC, and I created a bracket for them. So, as I do best, here's the bracket, and then we let Madden do the rest from here, simulating all the games we have. So let me pull up the consolation bracket we have. All these teams are not in the playoffs. I'm going to say that. That's basically what loser consolation means. It's teams that did not make the playoffs and to runner-up. So here is the 20-team consolation bracket. AFC on the left, NFC on the right. And fun fact real quick before I say these matchups. Only one team on this entire bracket out of the 20 teams went over positive, and that was the LA Rams. With that being said, let's go and jump right into the matchup. So starting with the AFC. Now this bracket is a little dysfunctional because there's no way a 20 bracket can work out perfectly. So we have like wildcard matchups. The number 10 Bengals, number 9 Dolphins, number 7 Browns, number 8 Chargers. Then on the NFC we have the number 9 Lions, number 10 Redskins, and then we have the Panthers at 7 and the Giants at 8. So let's get right into this. We'll start with these 4 games and then we'll move on to the second round. Let's go. Well, in the first game of the playoffs, I have one thing to say. Just imagine getting blowed out by the Bengals by like 3 touchdowns almost. Final score 35-17. Bengals are moving on to play the Steelers. Next game. Okay, just like last game, this game ended on a knee of the Cleveland Browns, moving on in the losers bracket. Baker Mayfield, an outstanding 4 touchdowns. Wish you could see that in real life though. With a final score of 31-24. Browns are moving on to play, I don't even know, to the NFC now because we have 2 more matchups to go. And in the only Detroit playoff game you'll ever see in your lifetime, home team comes up top. Detroit ends up winning this game with a score of 34-20. And David Blau, 4 touchdowns, 360 yards. Down goes the Redskins. Lions are moving on in the playoffs. Hard to believe. Final game, and then we'll get on to the round 2 results. Okay, that just might have been the boringest few games I've ever watched in my lifetime because all the games in the blowouts are just knees. I think the Giants ended up winning this. I already forgot. Here, let me look at the score real quick. Oh, no. The Panthers ended up winning this one 35-21. And that's the end of the first round. So moving on to the, I guess, second round. I don't know what to call it. 4 wildcard matches are over. Let's see who can become the best, the worst. Bracket results up next. Okay, so that concludes probably the boringest few games I've ever watched in my lifetime. But that is the end of the wildcard loser rounds. Now on to the main round where everybody gets to play. The Steelers versus the Bengals. Jets versus Jaguars. Broncos versus Browns. And Raiders versus Colts is representing the AFC loser side. And then on the NFC consolation, we got the Rams and Lions. Buccaneers versus Cardinals. Bears and Panthers, and the Cowboys versus the Falcons. So let's go right into the Steelers-Bengals, work our way down the AFC, and then to the NFC. Let's go. Well, no surprise here. The Steelers, the number 1 worst best team in the AFC, if that makes any sense, gets it done. Joe Hayden, 4 tackles, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. He got a pick 6 against the lovely Bengals. Final score of 35-14. Low scoring game all the way up to the third and fourth quarter. It just completely changed. And on to the next game. Who will play the Steelers? We'll find out. Here we are in MetLife Stadium. The Jets rocking the all-black unis versus the Jaguars. We are tied at 27 apiece. A minute and 15 is clicking down the clock right now. Sam Darnold lining up, looking for at least 30 to 40 yards. And the pressure is coming to him. He gets the ball off to a short gain, almost like 2 yards. Stops the clock about time. Minute 4 left, 2nd and 9. Sam Darnold looking for another pass. Looks like he's going to take off of it, and he gets plummeted into the ground by Campbell. I don't know what type of play that was. He was just looking to take off right when he stepped back. Campbell sacks him. It's 3rd and 15, 50 seconds left on the clock. They do not want to give this ball back to the Jaguars, because then, field goal wins the game. No huddle. Sam Darnold, 3rd and 15. No timeouts have been called yet. Now he decides to pass. He's just going to air it. It's caught. He breaks away from the defender all the way up to the 35-yard line. A timeout has been called by the Jets. 27-0. Alright, the kick is about to happen. Here comes the snap. Kick is up. Straight down the middle is good with 1 second left on the clock. And the Jets move 30-27. And that should do it for this game. Let's see if the Jaguars can do anything at all. Okay, can a miracle happen in MetLife? MetLife miracle? They gotta get a return. They gotta go about 100 yards. And it would not happen. The Jets will get this one done with the game-winning drive from Sam Darnold. The kick, 30-27. The Jets are moving on to play the Steelers. Okay, we have a pretty big upset in the losers bracket. The Broncos will fall to the Browns. Baker Mayfield leading the Browns with a 29-21 victory over the Broncos. The Browns are moving on. Nothing much to say here. And the Raiders, they got a long way to go if they want to stay in this game. Need 1 touchdown, extra point plus, but they need about 100 yards. And that one's going to the end zone. That one should be a safety. It's not. They call it the 1-yard line. Look at that. Yeah, that's in the end zone. That's a giant break for the Raiders. And now, sitting at the 1-yard line. Looks like Derek Carr's looking for a pass. Gets the protection he needs. Airs it. It's caught midfield. Nothing but daylight. 30, 20, 10. Touchdown. Raiders. Is that Jordy Nelson? Didn't he just retire? I don't know what number it was, but Nelson, whichever Nelson that is. If that's Jordy Nelson, then that's just old school football right there, because that's just something he's good at. But the only reason why they got that off was the generous call, not giving the Colts the safety. And one play after that, a 100-yard bomb from Derek Carr to, I guess, Jordy Nelson, which is retired, but yeah, it's a tie game now. Looks like the Colts are playing for overtime. They let every single second tick off the clock. Unless they can get something done here. They're just going to let the time tick. Andrew Luck. Probably just going to air this one. All the time in the world. He just gets a little short little route. Time is ticked off the clock. Going to get up to around the 45-yard line. And that will send it to overtime. Alright. Here we go. Alright, so here's the toss. Let's see who wins it. The Raiders have won the toss, which most likely means they will take the ball for themselves. Yes, they will. Raiders will start off the ball. Alright, here comes the kick into overtime. The Raiders looking to move on to play the Browns. Gonna fit up their own end zone. Gets up to the 20, 30, gets some space. Up to the 35, all the way up to the 36-yard line. What a good return by 17. 32 yards right there. Alright, Derek Carr looking to hand off the ball. And it's going to get something out of it. Oh, all the way up to the 45-yard line, or what I like to call the 55-yard line. 2nd and 4. Derek Carr looking for a pass. And he's going to get it. Get the first down. Right up to the 50-yard line. On the shield of the logo. The Raiders looking for 40 more yards. They get a good portion of them to Nelson again. Nelson breaks out of it. Nelson, touchdown. Who is this Nelson person? Because he just got 2 of the most clutchest touchdowns in his life. Breaks out of the tackle. Runs the distance. 20 yards after contact. Nelson gets it done not only in regulation, but in overtime. And the Raiders, on the shoulders of Nelson and Carr, move on to play the Browns. Let's go to the NFC now. Good game. And down goes the first number 1 seed, the Rams. The only team that had over 500 record this season gets knocked out by the Lions, which honestly, if you ask me, are probably one of the most underrated losing teams. You know, they can play pretty good. They just don't have the experience or anything like that. But the Lions winning 31-17 at LA Coliseum. The Rams, after, well, if you watched the last video, you know what happened, but I don't want to say anything. But the Rams falling to the first round as the number 1 seed to the Lions. The Lions are moving on. Crazy. And well, if I can say so myself, this was a really embarrassing game for the Buccaneers. They got close, but the entire game they just let him keep on scoring. TJ Swearinger with 11 sacks, and the final score was 19-10. If they didn't score that last touchdown, it would have been a 19-3 game. Buccaneers with a disappointing loss. Cardinals are moving on to play the Lions. 2 more games, and we're moving on to the next. Okay, we're starting the Bears-Panthers game off at Soldier Field on a kick 17-14 game. Panthers return it from their 1. Gets break out of it. He has space. 50. 24 chases him down. I think that was Cohen. No, not Cohen. I don't know who 24 is, but he just stopped a potential game winner for the Panthers. He broke out of the 2 tackles and gets all the way up to midfield, and the Panthers are in business. Okay, Cam Newton stays on the field, no huddle. They snap it. They're looking for a better field goal, and they get it. Now McCaffrey to the 30. Time is ticking. Panthers call a timeout. The Panthers have a shot of a game-winning touchdown. Can they get it done? The kick is going to be up. And it's going to be straight down the middle of 17 all game, and the Bears, 5 seconds left. Maybe a miracle will happen. Let's see. Okay, so I've skipped the entire overtime. Let's just say that neither offense could do anything at all. I've been spectating this game for around 25 minutes now. Trubisky gets a short pass, gets a good block, gets the first, gets 15 yards. Fumble! Picked up by the Panthers! And the Panthers fight across to the 35-yard line. Finally, something has happened right when I get back into commentating. And the Panthers are a field goal away from finally winning this game. 20 plus minutes I've just been sitting here waiting for something to happen, and the Panthers make a move on defense and wrestle to the field goal line, and they are ready to win this game. Boom! Just gets popped and the ball is loose. 30 minutes later of commentating, and the Panthers are finally looking to win this game. The kick is up. It's good. The Panthers win, and the Panthers are moving on. Ticked down. Straight down the middle. I'm going to say kick, not tick. And wasting all the time they had off the clock in overtime. And finally, we have a winner. Panthers win 20-17. We have 1 more game left. About time. Let's move on. And here in Jerry's world, the Falcons, they just get absolutely shut down. Zeke, 274 yards and 4 touchdowns at 80 long. Having a field day out there. Final score, 38-16. Nothing much to say here. Cowboys, easily moving on. Bracket results, here we are. Okay, so that concludes the second round of play of the 20-team Consolation bracket. And here are our matchups on the screen right now. Steelers, Jets, Browns, Raiders, Lions, Cardinals, and Panthers, Cowboys. Interesting matchups. Both number 1 and number 2 seed fell in the NFC. AFC is still looking strong, though. And yeah, let's go and move on right to the next round, into the conference championships of the losers. Here we go. Okay, so the Jets could not get it done at the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Steelers will move on to the conference champion of the worst team. Final score, 35-25. Moving on. Well, I'm not too sure what's happening here, but the Browns, for whatever reason, decided they want to start trying, and they win this game by a score of 45-22, beating the Raiders at the Coliseum, and the Browns are moving on to play their division rival, the Steelers, and the Losers Conference Championship. Let's move on to the NFC. And well, that was probably the lamest playoff game I've ever watched in my life. The Cardinals beat the Lions 17-10. Not much to say here. The Cardinals are moving on to the loser NFC Championship to play the winner of, I believe, the Panthers and Cowboys. 1 more match, and then we'll get into the championship games. Okay, here we are in AT&T Stadium. The Cowboys just put a touchdown up for a 35-28 lead. They kick the ball off to the Panthers. The Panthers will take a return. Looking for a touchdown with a little less than a minute. The Panthers get stopped all the way up to the 15-yard line. And here they have almost 90 yards to go now for a game-tying touchdown. Okay, so here comes the Panthers looking for a snap. And he's going to throw it out to all the way up to the logo. But nobody's there, so we have a 2nd and 10, 49 seconds left. 49 seconds left for the Panthers to get a touchdown. And he gets sacked to the 10-yard line. Panthers 40 seconds left. Cowboys come up clutch when needed. No other than Lawrence. Panthers not deciding to call their timeout. Down goes 10 seconds. 30 seconds left now. No huddle. Panthers from their own 10. Looking for 90 yards. Throws it. A pick! And now should do it. He's going to return all the way, is he? He's going to get stopped short by McCaffrey. But the Cowboys with Jones with the pick. We'll get this one done and moving on to the conference championship to play the Cardinals. Yes, you heard that right. Alright. Okay, so we have made it all the way to the conference championships for obviously the losing teams that did not make the playoffs. And we have 4 teams left. For the AFC, the Steelers versus the Browns. For the NFC, the Cardinals versus the Cowboys. So here's our matchups. And yeah, we're going to see who wins these, moves on to the loser Super Bowl. And let's start the AFC. Okay, here we are in Pittsburgh, 34-34 all, overtime, minute left. Field goal for the win by the Browns. 4th and 14, can they do it? Oh, they get iced. Alright, so 34 all game, and we'll get a kick right after this. Also, as I'm talking, I just want to say this, that Luke Kuechly just retired, and Josh Donaldson's going to the Twins, so cool sports stuff to go on as we wait for a game-winning field goal of the Browns. And here comes the kick to go to the Consolation Super Bowl. Can they do it? It's up. And it is. Good! The Browns are going to the Consolation Super Bowl to play the winner of the Cardinals and Cowboys. The Browns take down the number 1 seed. And here they are, 1 game away from being the best of the worst. Let's move on. And we have 36 seconds left on the clock. The upset right in the middle of the star. The Cardinals win 16-13 as the clock is going to run down and expire. The number 2 Cowboys fall to the number 6 Cardinals. Do not know how the Cardinals made it this far, and they're 1 game away as well. So, I'm going to go and pull up real quick. The Browns versus the Cardinals. The Consolation Super Bowl. Who will win? Who thought of this matchup too? We had so many different matchups, but somehow we get the Cardinals versus the Browns. So, yeah, let's get into this game real quick. Here we go. Looks like the Browns decided to waste, or not waste their timeout, use their timeout for nothing and just let them kick the ball. It's short anyways, no good, we're heading to overtime. The Browns saw that from a mile, they decided to save their timeout, it worked out for the best. And now, let the past be forgotten as we go into the weirdest Super Bowl ever. Cardinals versus Browns, tied at 17. Let's see who wins the toss. The Cardinals have won the toss, and it looks like they will receive, like always. So let's get started. Standing on what he wants, the Super Bowl trophy. Kyler Murray looks for a pass, hits an open receiver, to the 40, to the 30, he has space, to the 20, the 10, touchdown! The Cardinals win the Super Bowl. And a bizarre ending, walk-off touchdown for 60-plus yards, and the Cardinals are the Consolation Super Bowl champions. Past Denzel Ward, the rookie, or second-year rookie, Demarius Randall follows, and the quick slant wins it on a walk-off. Cardinals are the best of the worst, according to Madden. So the Arizona Cardinals, they win the Consolation Super Bowl. Do not know how that happened. You know, there's so many better teams, and when I say better teams, I mean bad teams, because no team was really that good. But somehow they were the best of the worst, and they proved that. And yeah, the Cardinals won a Super Bowl on my simulation. So that concludes today's video. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.